Hey, it's Wyatt Smith, founder and CEO at UpSmith. Welcome to another episode of Untapped with UpSmith. We're really excited to be working today with Bekka Martels. Bekka's here as one of the co-owners and leaders of Advanced AC in the greater Austin area, working on a really exciting venture in home services. Thank you, Bekka, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We're excited to have you. Well, our podcast is very focused on ways technology is helping home service companies win and people in the skilled trades really thrive in their careers. Nowhere is that more true than with Bekka's team. Bekka, start by just sharing a little bit about what you're building and what your family business is focused on.
Yeah, so we are building a residential HVAC company in the greater Austin area, and we want to build community and value to our clients. We are family owned and operated, like you mentioned. We opened about 8 years ago, but I was not part of Advanced before. I did my own thing. I was in education. I had the opportunity to be a special education teacher. And then after that, I did do my own corporate thing and worked for education tech. And that was fun. And I think with all those transitions and those new skills I was able to build, Joe, the owner, my husband, he started to see how much value I could bring to Advanced in putting in those processes, having those game plans in order to educate our clients and have that community outreach. And so about 4 months ago, made the jump to come on full time, and it's been amazing ever since.
That's great. We share in common a background in education. I was a teacher before business school, and it remains the hardest and best job
Yes.
I've had in my career in a lot of ways. Share a little bit about that part of your professional journey. What was it like early in your career? What are the skills you built there that you use today?
So with education, I had to differentiate learning. I had to talk to multiple people. I had to talk to students, teachers, parents. And so you really had to pivot in how you communicated with each group of people you were talking to. But then you also had to prep and plan of how are you going to educate them
Right.
in a way that they understand. And I think with home services, there are so many things that people don't know about their home or don't exactly know how it works. But how do we teach them in a way that is easy for them to understand that doesn't complicate it? And so education wise, that's kind of the skill that I got from there. And then with working, when I transitioned to education technology, I got the opportunity to do a lot of the IT support, software. And with that love of software and finding out how you can utilize it in a way that is efficient for your company, kind of helped with Service Titan. So we're on
Yeah.
Service Titan. It's robust and it's a labor of love, in the best way possible. And so my love for that learning challenge and the technology side of it has allowed me to put in place procedures to make our work efficient to be able to better serve our clients.
That's great. Individualized education plans to
Yes.
individualized homeowner plans.
Yes,
That's awesome.
yes.
Um, when you and Joe were contemplating teaming up and working in the business together, I'm sure you thought through lots of different ways that the dynamic of having your spouse as your business partner would play through.
Yes.
What was it like for you two as you were contemplating this next step of your journey?
Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth on if it was the right decision to make because it is a big risk to lose a more steady income as well, as especially as a family with 3 young children. So we went back and forth. We kind of talked about other companies that we know our husband and wife own and how what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, and how we were going to implement that in our model. And we just kept having these open communications about how we're feeling about it, where we're headed at, where are our goals, what do we want to be in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, what do we want to do with the company? And we've been able to navigate that together, and it's allowed us to have more deep conversations, not only professionally but personally. And we kind of have set up where I handle a lot of the office stuff and a lot of the office HR administrator side of things, and he is service, install, field support.
Yeah.
But we come together so that I can let him know some of the things that he's not aware of. He lets us know that some of the things that we're not aware of so that we can game plan and pivot and just having that open line of communication. But it was a lot of conversations and a lot of back and forth on if we should pull the trigger or not. But it's been the best decision that we've made for the company and for our family.
That's awesome.
So I've gotten a lot more flexibility recently.
Yeah.
too.
Well, there's so many examples. There's so many examples of people across the country who are building family businesses and are doing so as like a really core part of the community they live in. And I think it's really fun to see the way that your family is applying that for your group. Talk a little bit about like the vision of Van Stacy, like what you and Joe want to be true for the
Yeah.
business and people you serve.
We want to be true that we want you to be comfortable in your home. And when you're having to make a decision, a big decision, we want you to feel educated. We want you to feel like we're in your corner and that you're not just another client. Like you are family. We want you to make the best decision for what your wants and needs are. And we want them to know that we're human. We make mistakes, but we're going to make it right too. Give us that opportunity to make it right because that's our goal. Our goal is to make it right even if we don't get it right the first time. And we just keep pushing that and moving forward. And it's definitely held true this summer with a lot of equipment changes and refrigerant changes and things of that nature. So we're having to re-educate clients and we are making mistakes, but we're coming back and we're owning up to that. And we are saying, let us make it right. And clients are appreciating that.
Yeah.
They appreciate that we're transparent, we're honest, but we're going to make it right.
That matters. I mean, trust and your reputation are your most important assets, right?
And that's as a small business, family owned, we have to have that vision and that output for our clients and our community, because if you don't, they're going to call the next person.
Right. Well, let's talk about that. I mean, it's a very competitive landscape out there, and there's a lot of headwinds that any business that's building in the home services sector is facing right now. What do you see as the biggest challenges for your team, and how do you think about what are the problems to solve?
Yeah, the biggest challenges right now is just cost. It's expensive to upkeep your HVAC system. It's the second biggest investment in your home other than your home itself. So that's the biggest challenge right now. And so one way that we're trying to combat that is through AI by being able to do more with less bodies, but still having that personalized feel. But then Joe and I are getting out in the field. We're talking to vendors. We're seeing what we can do to bring our prices down in order to still be able to offer the products at a affordable cost with the same quality. Because we don't want to give up quality just to cut a cost. We want to still have that same quality while still also being able to afford the business and have the business running in order to better our clients.
Yeah, keep the bar high, but also do it in a way that makes total sense.
Yes.
Well, and I love your focus on technology as a way to help differentiate.
Yes.
Share a little bit about how you think about it. What are the ways that you look at technology and how are you using in the business right now?
Yeah, I personally love technology. If you ask Joe, he's a little bit more standoffish. The big running joke in the company is that he's peepaw. So I am one that I go headfirst into technology. I think it's a tool to utilize to leverage.
Right.
And I definitely get the hesitation for companies, but I think if you don't try it, you're never going to know. And so we started out paperless 8 years ago. Not paperless. We started out on paper 8 years ago, and everything was paper. We were scanning it into a cloud drive to, have records and things of that nature. And we started out with one paperless system, and that kind of jumpstart that technology process. And that was a learning curve. And then we got on with Service Titan, which again, it's robust. And so that's another learning curve. And for some technicians who are not technology based, it can be a lot for a tech out in the field. They don't want to deal with the technology issues. They don't want to deal with bugs and things of that nature. And so that's what I'm there for. I'm there to support them and guide them through the technology so that they can feel confident out in the field, setting up those processes and procedures so that when they're utilizing their technology, they're confident with it.
Yep.
But again, as business owners, you're never going to know how technology is going to work for you unless you try it, unless you say yes.
Yeah. So Service Titan is one important technology investment you've made. What have been other ones?
UpSmith with Jenny AI. So we have Ellie and Molly live now, and Ellie follows up on our estimates. Molly follows up on our membership recurring events so that we can get those scheduled to ensure that their maintenances are being completed. We have also invested in Avoca. They are our AI answering service, but they also have a coaching piece for our client care representative. So are we hitting the key values of our company of we come with fully stocked trucks. We have an advanced club membership that does that preventative maintenance that offers you discounts on repairs because you're maintaining your unit. And then they do have a human aspect to it, so we still want to keep that because people are going to get frustrated with AI. People are going to get frustrated with technology. So we invested in Avoca because they had both. They had the best of both worlds of an AI answering, but human aspect as a backup if needed.
Yeah, that's really cool. So for people that may not be as familiar with how some of these tools work, the agents that we're building at UpSmith are designed to be digital workers that are on your team helping
Yes.
solve problems for customers. Two of the digital agents you guys are using are Ellie, the estimate closer, Molly, the membership manager. For those less familiar, what's the experience of using Ellie, the estimate closer, for your end customer?
Yeah, so previously we utilized Service Titans Marketing Pro in doing text drips or email drips, and we weren't getting engagement. We weren't finding out why they weren't moving forward or what their hesitation was. So when we pushed out Ellie and got her to work, we were getting engagement. We were finding out where are people hesitating? Why are they hesitating? How can we offer a way to get them to move forward? So we're getting that engagement, we're getting that feedback so that we can better our product and our services and our processes. Anywhere from pricing to financing options to the part availability. And so we are working with that information and letting our vendors know, hey, like one hesitation is that we can't get the part available. Like, what can we do about this? So it's really just taking that information and putting it into action.
Yeah, that's really cool. So Ellie is reaching out to your customer, is starting a conversation around following up on an open estimate for service or for a replacement. What's a surprising thing that you've learned in reviewing those conversations?
Something surprising that I've learned is that people are way more engaged with somebody that seems real, and will tell you the truth versus just a random text message that's like, do you want to do your repair? They want that personal feel. They want to feel like we remembered their services and what their home was like and what their home needed. And so I'm learning that we still need that personal aspect, even as AI is coming in and even as you're leveraging technology, there still has to be that human touch and that human personalization. And that's what clients love. They love that. They don't want to feel like they're talking to a robot all the time, or they don't want to feel like it's just a marketing blast. And that's something that is what differentiates what we were using to what we're using now with Ellie.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of folks will share the fear they have about AI is they'll lose what makes it special, that you're talking to someone who really gets your problem and cares about you. And we think a lot about that at UpSmith because the truth of it is like personalization matters.
Yes.
And that personalized allusion to a specific thing that happened at your home or an interaction we had months ago builds a lot of credibility.
It does.
And so when AI really operates at its best, it does that. It unlocks the benefit of having all those points of connectivity that existed historically and then predictively what might be in the future. And it sounds like you're seeing that from some of the conversations.
Yes, because they're going back through and Ellie's looking at what are our location notes, what was in the invoice that we documented last time, so that if the client has a question, they're not having to wait for us to reach out to a technician. She can analyze the invoice notes and say, hey, this is what our technician found, this is the recommended repair, and here's why. So it's learning also about the home services that sometimes we don't have the capacity to do. Our client care representatives, they don't always have that capacity to learn about home services and the terminology and in a deeper level, and that's something that AI can assist with.
Yeah, that's really cool. You're also using our Molly, the membership manager agent. Membership programs are so strategic.
Yes.
They create long-term relationships with lots of lifetime value in those partnerships. How do you guys think about your membership program and what's the role that Molly plays in helping accelerate it?
Yeah, so Molly plays a role in getting us back in the door, getting them on the schedule for that preventative maintenance so that we have that opportunity to catch things before it's a bigger problem and educate our clients, especially as there's so many market changes and refrigerant changes. they're not aware, right? So Molly helps us get in the door. Molly helps us remind them that, hey, you invested in your HVAC equipment. Let us invest in you too.
Mm.
So she's really closing those gaps of people who didn't use their services previously. Now we have almost October like booked of maintenances, which is amazing. September and October booked. So we're definitely seeing more opportunity to get into the home and educate clients, catch those things early, let them know how their system's doing so that they can make the best decision for their family, especially as we come up on the holidays.
Yeah.
Holidays are coming. That's what people are going to start thinking about is how am I going to pay for the holidays? Right? So if we can get in early and catch it as a small problem that's less expensive, and then they get that 15% discount, that's a way easier pill to swallow than it being Christmas Eve and you're calling for emergency service. And now it's a bigger repair. So Molly's really helped us be able to get into this door sooner to catch those problems sooner.
That's a really great insight. I also love the idea of Molly being able to help grow the membership program too.
Yes.
Because there's signals in the data about someone that's not currently a member for whom you guys have a scheduled service coming up.
Yeah.
And that's such a cool moment to reach out and say, we'd love to share with you about the membership program. And,
yes.
you know, it could pay for itself on this first visit alone.
Absolutely.
Waiving the dispatch fee, having a discount applied to the services you bring on board. When you think about how your goals are for the membership program, where would you like it to be 6, 12, 18 months from now?
Membership wise, I would, 6 months from now, I would love to be up to 1,000 members. 12 months from now, I would love to be up to 1,500 members. Right now, we're teetering around 650. And so I would love to grow and help people take care of their home.
Mm.
And so if we can, have Molly reaching out to clients who are not current active members or people who have let their membership lapse and educate them on the value of it, it is one personalized way to reach out to them that doesn't add on a task to our human client care representatives. And so it's that balance, right? It's that balance of leveraging technology and having that personal touch, but not taking away from our client care representatives too. So it's a nice fine balance, but I think that it's something that is needed for home services at this time.
One exciting thing we've seen with others is the ability to reach out to someone before their membership is expiring and engage them about renewal in the context of all the value they got in the year prior. Because again, you have access to all that data.
Yes.
You can allude to the services that were delivered and the checkups that happened and the near misses of things that got avoided.
Yes.
And that becomes a cool way to like revisit the value they got delivered before that moment comes. It also then takes away a lot of the challenges that a human might have around like remembering that they're coming up because you have so many things that are happening. Being able to deliver AI to help solve that problem of what is an example of a thing that an artificial intelligence partner can do better than a human could.
Yeah. And I think going back to like building that value, it could take our client care representative 5 minutes to go back through all the invoices and see what their savings were. Whereas Molly could go through, analyze it very quickly and have an answer almost immediately.
Right.
And that saves time, that closes that gap and that room for objection.
Yep, that's right. She can do it in any language and she can do it.
She did. I think Ellie actually responded to a client in Spanish one time because I guess their phone was set up in Spanish. And she responded in Spanish. I was like, oh, okay, this is okay. We're gonna do Spanish now.
I saw that one too. I talked to our team when that one came through and said, hey guys, who translated that? And there was like, Ellie decided that was the right way to respond once the.
It was pretty awesome because we do have, especially in Austin, I mean Dallas too, but in Austin, we have so many people coming from so many different areas that language can be a barrier. And so if there's something that can help close that barrier too, that can also be a key winning point to get in the door too.
It matters.
Yeah.
And it also helps you all personalize your service.
Absolutely.
In a way that like meets your customer where they are, makes them feel cared about and acknowledged and seen. That's powerful too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you enjoy building this family business. You have some young kiddos at home.
I do. I have 3.
Talk a little bit about that. Talk about how you manage the challenges that come around, leading a business, being a great parent. What are some of the ways you guys are managing that?
We divide and conquer a lot. So we have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. Our 5-year-old is in kindergarten across town, and then our younger two are at a daycare closer to home. So one of us will take the kindergartner, and then the other will take the other two. But I essentially block my calendar off, school pickup and school drop off, and everyone that knows me knows I have a hard stop time, but I let Joe have that flexibility so that he can hop in the field and help those techs. Because at the end of the day, the technicians are the ones that are in the dirt. They're in the nitty gritty of servicing the homes, servicing the clients. And so I allow him to have that flexibility during the day, and I handle, drop offs and pickups for the most part. And it's a balance. And that's how we've made it work, because we know that him being out in the field is going to be way more valuable than him going and sitting in line for a car pickup. And so we have our kids at work sometimes. If they're sick, they come and hang out in my office and probably have a little bit too much screen time. But it's a balance, and our kids get to see us work, and our kids get to see us build value and be excited about what we're doing. That every time they see our Vans on the road, they get very excited about Vance, who's our armadillo. And they get excited. They love Vance. They love to tell people about him. And they also get to know our employees. And we have my oldest, who's a little bit more verbal than the 3-year-old and the 1-year-old. She's like, well, what's Mr. Bruce doing, and what's Uncle Justin doing, and where's Miss Page at today, or so they get to also meet the people that we get to work with, and build that. And it's been really nice because I get to see the interactions of, it's not just work. Like, we want you to feel like you belong, and you do belong as an employee, and we want you to know our family, and our family wants to know you.
Yep. My dad runs a cattle ranch in West Alabama, and I grew up working for him.
Awesome.
And I think the experience when you work in a family business, that it is teaching you all these things around work ethic and the dignity of work, and
Yes.
how important that is to your family culture too, that you don't realize when you're a kid you're learning, because it's sort of just in the water. But
It
as
is.
an adult, you look back on that and you think, wow, that was such a formative experience.
It is.
And it's cool to think about your kiddos having that formative experience of observing you all build this company and then being a part of it in the ways you just alluded to.
Yeah. I think it's also important to note that these are skills that they're seeing, that they're absorbing, that they're going to have, that maybe I didn't have growing up, or somebody else didn't have growing up. And so they're going to be in a much better place when they're deciding what they want to do with life than I was. So, but it's just that balance. There are times that I have mom guilt, when I'm having to step away and take a call, or help a technician. I think Joe has the same feeling of the dad guilt. He got the opportunity this week to solo dad. So he got a lot of insight as to some of the experiences that I've had when he's been out and I've been having to solo mom. So I think that's what really helps us too as a business owners and a couple is, okay, now we can see how each other and what our challenges are and what our strengths are and how can we support that. And then our kids get to see that too, and they get to see what's healthy.
Yeah. My wife's traveling this weekend, so I'll be solo dadding, and I'm pretty sure the kids will be here at the UpSmith office, and there'll be some screen time. They'll be happening.
Absolutely.
That's cranking.
And a lot of snacks. A lot of snacks.
The chairs that roll around. It's like a lot of fun. There's a lot of things that are fun about that.
Yeah, just don't let them see what Ryan's on, because they might try that.
Yeah. There you go. What you're building is really cool, and it's fun being your partner and the chance to watch you all as you're developing it. Any advice you would have given your current self would have given your past self in looking to the challenges that were to come, if you were talking to that Bekka who was coming out of school a handful of years ago? What would be your guidance to her?
And be like, just do it. Do it. I mean, I feel like so many times I took the safer option, and I didn't want to take a lot of risks. I was very by the book, we're going to do it in this order. These are the way to do it. And I think as I've grown, I've realized that I'm never going to know unless I try. And it might be the best thing I've done, and it might not be, but it's a lesson learned. And it's something that I can move forward and say, you know what, I tried that in the past. It didn't work. Let's try something different. Mm-hmm. And so I think the biggest lesson I would say, or give advice to myself as a younger self, would be just try it. Say yes. Yeah. if it works, say yes. If it doesn't work, say yes still, because you're never going to know. You'll never know unless you say yes.
Any productivity hacks that you're using that you'd recommend to others?
Oh gosh, I put everything on my calendar, productivity wise, and then I'll be honest, if I start getting overwhelmed, I go into ChatGPT and I'm like, here are all the tasks I need to do, prioritize them for me. Prioritize them for me. And it really puts a visual for me to say, okay, here are the high points that I need to hit now, and here's something that can be delegated or it can wait. And I think delegation's one thing I'm having to learn. I am not a good delegator. I would much rather just do it myself. Joe will attest to that. Sometimes I don't like to wait for him, and so I'll just do it. And so something I'm having to learn is delegating, and ChatGPT kind of helps me figure out what I can delegate because I don't always have to be responsible for everything.
There you go. There's like a life lesson in that too.
Yes.
And then last question, anything you've read recently or things you've listened to that you would say like have a lot of real wisdom for productivity that you'd pass on to other people?
Oh, and I cannot think of the name of the book. It's like Little Changes. What is that book called? It has a white cover.
Atomic Habits?
Yes.
Yeah.
Atomic Habits. That is something that I probably read once a year through audiobooks because it's a good reminder of you don't always have to do the big grand gestures. Sometimes in order to get to that big grand idea and gesture, you have to take the small steps and the small building blocks. And it's something I have to remind myself all the time because I will go 0 to 100 and it's not always obtainable. But if I take the building blocks, I take the little steps, it is obtainable. Right. And it's something that Joe reads probably once a year too, because it's a good reminder because that's how we both are. We like to go 0 to 100. So Atomic Habits just kind of grounds us and it reminds us that, hey, it doesn't always have to be that way. Just take it step by step.
One step at a time.
One step at a time.
Well, you're doing it in an awesome way. It's really great to have you on the podcast. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for having us.
We'll catch you next time on Untapped with UpSmith. Thanks, Bekka.
Thanks, Wyatt.